Welcome to the Human Meme Podcast. I'm AI David Bowles, and along with our Crackbot AI research team, we have prepared this conversation for you today. A comprehensive guide to EMDR therapy. Understanding and navigating the 8 phases for healing and transformation. We start by examining the world of eye movement, desensitization, and reprocessing, EMDR therapy. Our conversation will unfold the layers of this unique therapeutic approach, from its intriguing inception and fundamental principles to a detailed walkthrough of each of its 8 transformative phases. We will also contrast EMDR with other therapeutic methodologies, providing insights into its efficacy in managing and healing from traumatic experiences. Let's set the frame and begin in context with what EMDR is and means. Imagine a therapy that, instead of relying solely on conversations or medications, employs the rhythmic movement of your eyes to help you process and overcome trauma. EMDR does precisely that. It's like a dance of the eyes, orchestrated to heal the mind. The inception of EMDR is almost serendipitous. Picture this. It's 1987. And psychologist Francine Shapiro is taking a stroll in a park. She's ruminating over distressing thoughts when she realizes that as her eyes dart back and forth, following the park's scenery, her anxiety is lessening. This eureka moment led to the development of EMDR. The purpose of EMDR is as compassionate as it is scientific. It's not just about erasing memories. It's about reprocessing them. Trauma often leaves psychological wounds. EMDR helps in healing these wounds by changing the way traumatic memories are stored in the brain. It's like taking a memory that's frozen in time and helping it to mature into a narrative that no longer controls your emotions in a harmful way. Now let's get analytical. EMDR is grounded in the adaptive information processing model. This model suggests that our brains can naturally move towards mental health, but sometimes particularly traumatic events get stuck, unprocessed, in our neural networks. EMDR helps in unlocking these memories and reprocessing them in a way that diminishes their destructive power. But what does this look like in the real world? Let's talk about Maria, a fictional yet representative case. Maria, a veteran, has been haunted by memories of her time in combat. She's tried talking about it, but the nightmares and panic attacks persist. Enter EMDR. Through sessions involving guided eye movements, Maria begins to process these frozen memories. Slowly, the grip of these memories on her daily life starts to loosen. She's not forgetting her experiences, but they're no longer her jailer. EMDR isn't without its critics. Some argue about its mechanism, asking, is it the eye movements or just the therapeutic environment? Yet numerous studies show its efficacy, particularly for PTSD. It's like discovering a hidden path in a dense forest. The path was always there, but it needed to be found and followed. But let's not forget the human element. EMDR is more than a clinical tool. It's a gateway to storytelling. It allows individuals to reframe their stories not with denial, but with acceptance and resilience. It's about turning a narrative of victimhood into one of survival and strength. In the world of therapy, where there are no one-size-fits-all solutions, EMDR stands out. It reminds us that sometimes healing can come from where we least expect it. In this case, the movement of our eyes narrating a story of pain, resilience, and ultimately healing. Before we dig into EMDR alone, let's first cast our gaze back to more traditional forms of therapy, such as cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. CBT, a stalwart in the world of psychology, is like the structured analytical sibling to the intuitive EMDR approach. It's based on the concept that our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are interconnected, and that changing negative thought patterns can lead to a change in behavior and mood. Imagine a person who's experienced trauma. CBT would have them identify and challenge their traumatic thoughts, breaking them down into less overwhelming parts. Now let's bring EMDR back into the picture. Unlike CBT, which is more focused on thought processes and behaviors, EMDR hones in on the emotions and memories tied to traumatic experiences. It's less about challenging thoughts and more about allowing the mind to process these memories in a safe environment. The contrast is clear. CBT is like meticulously untangling a knotted string, while EMDR is akin to finding a new way to weave the string altogether. But what about efficacy? Studies have shown that both CBT and EMDR are effective in treating PTSD, though their approaches are different. CBT often requires more time and active engagement with traumatic thoughts, which can be challenging for some. EMDR, on the other hand, can sometimes bring quicker relief, but it requires the individual to relive experiences, which can also be challenging. Now let's consider another therapy, psychodynamic therapy. This approach is like the introspective elder of the therapy family. It smarts into how past experiences, particularly from childhood, shape current behavior. It's less about direct confrontation with traumatic events, and more about understanding the deep-rooted influences on behavior and feelings. Comparing this to EMDR, the difference is stark. EMDR is more present-focused, dealing directly with the impact of specific traumatic events, while psychodynamic therapy is a deep dive into the psyche, looking for patterns and hidden meanings that have evolved over a lifetime. Each of these therapies, be it CBT, psychodynamic therapy, or EMDR, offers a unique path to healing. They are like different roads leading to the same destination, recovery and understanding. The choice of therapy often depends on the individual's specific needs, their history, and how they personally resonate with the therapeutic approach. Now let's enmesh ourselves in the world of an EMDR therapy session. From the therapist's perspective, the session begins with building a foundation of trust and understanding. The therapist, a guide in this method, first reviews the patient's history, ensuring they're a suitable candidate for EMDR. It's like laying down the tracks before the train of therapy can safely pass. Phase 1 is the history and treatment planning phase. The therapist and patient embark on a traveling together, digging into the patient's past, unraveling the tapestry of their experiences. It's akin to a detective and a witness piecing together a story. The therapist identifies potential traumatic memories to target in the sessions. It's a time of building trust and understanding the landscape of the patient's psyche. Then we move to Phase 2, preparation. This phase is crucial. It's like preparing for a deep-sea dive. The therapist equips the patient with emotional coping strategies, such as stress reduction techniques, to ensure they can safely navigate the emotionally challenging waters of EMDR. It's not just about diving deep. It's about being able to resurface safely. Phase 3 is the assessment phase. Here, the therapist and patient select a specific target memory to work on. They identify the vivid visual image related to the memory, the negative belief about themselves, the emotions and body sensations linked to the memory, and a positive belief to replace the negative one. It's like setting the coordinates for the expectation. Phase 4 is the desensitization and reprocessing phase. The therapist, now akin to a conductor, initiates the process by asking the patient to bring to mind a distressing memory, including the associated emotions and body sensations. This moment is pivotal. It's where the patient stands at the edge of their past traumas, ready to face them. Now, imagine the therapist's fingers gently starting to move back and forth in front of the patient's eyes. The patient follows these movements with their eyes, creating a rhythm. This movement is the hallmark of EMDR, believed to stimulate the same processes that occur during REM sleep, the phase of sleep where the mind processes daily emotional experiences. From the patient's viewpoint, this is a unique experience. As they follow the therapist's fingers, they're not just moving their eyes, they're moving through their own psyche. They may recall aspects of the memory that were previously fragmented or hidden. Emotions and sensations might rise to the surface, sometimes intensely. The therapist observes these reactions, guiding the process with care. They may interject with questions like, "What do you notice now?" This is not just idle curiosity. It's a vital part of the therapy, helping to anchor the patient's evolving experience. As the session progresses, the intensity of the emotions usually begins to decrease. The patient, who initially might have felt engulfed by the memory, starts to see it in a less distressing light. It's akin to transforming a haunting ghost into a familiar spirit from the past. Phase 5 is the installation phase. After the desensitization, the therapist leads the patient towards reprocessing the memory, helping them to link the traumatic memory to more adaptive, positive beliefs. For instance, a belief like "I am powerless" might shift to "I am a survivor." The focus here shifts to reinforcing the positive belief that the patient has chosen to replace their negative belief. It's about planting seeds of positive cognition, ensuring they're firmly rooted in the patient's mind. The 6th phase is the body scan. After the desensitization and installation, the therapist asks the patient to bring the target memory to mind and scans their body for any residual tension or discomfort. It's a thorough check to ensure no physical trace of emotional distress remains connected to the memory. Then we have Phase 7, closure. This phase is essential, ensuring that the patient leaves each session feeling better than when they came in. Even if the memory hasn't been fully processed, the therapist employs techniques to bring the patient back to a state of equilibrium. Finally, Phase 8, reevaluation. At the beginning of each new session, the therapist and patient review the work done so far and assess if the positive results have been maintained. This phase is critical. It's like checking the path traveled and ensuring it's leading towards the desired destination. Through these 8 phases, EMDR therapy unfolds not just as a set of steps, but as a holistic healing towards a better mind space. Each phase plays a crucial role, from building trust and preparing emotionally, to processing the trauma and reinforcing positive beliefs, and finally ensuring the patient's stability and progress. In the world of therapy, EMDR stands as a testament to the human ability to heal from even the deepest of wounds. It's a thought that intertwines the expertise of the therapist with the courage and resilience of the patient. From its serendipitous beginnings to the intricate dance of eye movements and the profound emotional processing involved, EMDR stands as a bit of hope in the field of psychological healing. We've contrasted it with traditional therapies like CBT and psychodynamic therapy, underscoring its unique position in treating trauma. By sinking into each of the 8 phases, we've illuminated how EMDR navigates the complexities of the human mind, offering a pathway to reprocess and reclaim control over traumatic memories. This exploration of EMDR is not just a clinical overview. It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of therapy to transform lives. As we part ways, let this conversation be a reminder of the incredible capacity we hold for healing, growth, and transformation in the face of life's most challenging experiences. For the Human Meme Podcast, I'm AI David Bowles, wishing you a smart day and a kind tomorrow. Be a human meme.
Oh, he can catch a dream.